All right, let's do the late surger guide. Took a little bit because there's a lot to get through, so let's begin. Our late surger is good. Well, their competition is going to be the pace chasers and the front runners. The front runners are probably the strongest role. The pace chasers just have a lot of very easy acceleration options. Late surgers are going to be less consistent, much less consistent than pace chasers. Reason being is that their acceleration skills, let's pump some iron, so you require sixth place, and with how many front runners and pace chasers there are, sixth place may never happen until very late in the race. So their consistency is awkward, and they are very vulnerable to debuffs because they are going to be standing right in front of the nice natures. There's a chance they're behind the nice natures, but in that case, that means your mid-race speed skills haven't really procced properly, and you're going to have some problems. So, why do you want to run over a late surger over pace chaser? I don't know. You do you, and enjoy the CM. So, no, for real. If you have an Oshi that's a late surger, or your late surger main like me, those are the two Oshi reasons to do so. Also, if you have an MLB Nice Nature Wit card, late surgers are becoming incredibly strong because that's one of the borrows you're going to basically doing for this CM. The other ones that aren't account based are you have a lower stamina requirement, and some characters in the late surgers, as you see, they're super easy to build. You can just literally get one medium S run and you're done. Like it'll take you 2-3 times. That's it. The other reason is that if you run three pace chasers, this is the reason why a lot of people are running two front runners, one pace. If you run three pace chasers, they lock with each other, and also the shooting for victory because you need fourth and third place. If there's three pace chasers and three front runners, let's say, well, one of them's going to be in sixth place. So you're shooting for victory timings with your other two Umas. They can compete with each other. So if you run a late surger and two pace chasers, you're giving yourself a better chance for your pace chasers to hit your shooting for victory while still having a chance for the third Uma to actually do stuff, because late surgers will win every once in a while because, and I would say actually quite frequently, if their acceleration skills actually stack properly. So basically, late surgers win when all the other roles fail. So if for some reason the angling and scheming frontrunner is not the strongest frontrunner or has any deficiencies whatsoever, and also the pace chaser is not perfectly built as well, or gets blocked for any reason by the front runners, a lot of weird things can happen during any of these races, then the late surger, who has a perfectly stacked acceleration skills, they're going to beat both of those out, and you'd be surprised how often that happens. So, as a reminder from before, you're gambling ultimates. You want Let's Pump Some Iron no matter what. And you have Meisho Doto as well as El Contrapasa as sort of a pseudo gamble alt that isn't as good. But the true high roll is going to be Taiki Shuttle, which seems weird because, hey, you're a late surger, you're trying to get six with Let's Pump Some Iron. Why do you need a fourth and third place alt? Well, you have two situations that can occur that can be the high roll. The first one is the ideal situation, which will happen 1 out of every 5 times if you're lucky. The ideal situation being that you hit Let's Pump Some Iron with a speed carryover of some sort, and that allows you to push into the fourth place. This happens in a very clustered pack. Maybe there's a lot of late surgers. Maybe you hit a bunch of mid-race speed skills. But if the pack is clustered very closely around the spurt timing, you can get from 6th to 4th pretty quickly, and then still hit the timing for shooting for victory, and then you just win the race at that point. That's not going to happen very often, but it's worth the 100 or so points, in my opinion, to do it. The other thing that can happen is, for some reason, and this has happened in every CM, the composition, everyone thinks there's going to be 3 front runners and 3 pace chasers and a couple late surgers maybe, and maybe an end closer. But you get into it and you realize, hey, wait, day one, there's going to be a lot of late surger, nice nature, stamina debuffers, because there always is. And you may have a bunch of people running triple dominator, and you see the comps are going to change over the course of time. So you may have some people being weird and running end closers, or a lot of late surgers. And if you're in the front of the pack with late surgers, you're not going to be in 6th, you're going to be in 5th or 4th. And if you're in the 4th or 3rd, because it's just a weird composition, maybe the front runners just died, maybe the pack is just flipped for some reason. It happens with Umastan and stuff. You're going to be in 4th and not 6th, and you're still going to have that acceleration option instead of just being in 6th. These are kind of niche situations, but honestly, there's not that many skills you need on late surgers. You just got to stack your excels and you should be good enough. You can afford to spend some points on these ultimates. So the stats for late surger, as we look at the table here, they have much lower stats than the pace chasers, but the difference is that they are going to be right in front of the nice natures. So you can dip below pace chasers normally, and technically you can go down to like 750 stamina, but honestly, for as you hit any sort of debuffer or you get rushed or anything, I really suggest still going for 800 target stamina, even though late surgers do have priority stamina. Do have better stamina, less HP consumption than the other roles. And also, you need a little bit of power more than most because you are a backliner. So 750 target power plus is what I would suggest. It is not required. There's no power requirements on this one. But more power is always going to be better. So that's the same question as the pace chasers. What do you need to hit 1200 speed and 800 stamina requirements? Then fill in wit from then on. So if you can hit 1200, 800 with this deck with 2 speed cards on a 20%, 10%, like an Oguri Kappa or a Vodka, you can run a 2-speed, 1 power deck with double wit. I've seen people run 2-speed, 3 wit decks and with some power sparks because they hit stamina enough. There's a lot of tinkering you can do with these decks, but essentially it's the same idea as pace chasers. Fill up as many wit cards as you can. The only difference is instead of fine motion, it is honestly worth it to take the small hit unless you own fine motion, a high MLB fine motion, to take the hit and get on your left because it's such a strong skill. That's normally against my general rule of thumb of don't sacrifice output for skills, but the difference between fine motion and nice nature wit is about 100 wit, so it's worth the gold skill. And you honestly are kind of struggling for absolutely good acceleration skills. Just Slick Surge and No Stopping Me are going to be the good ones, but No Stopping Me is a little bit nerfed this time because it's just bad timing, so you're really looking for Slick Surge, which would be on your left. Again, if all else fails, pretend it's a long CM, don't run any wit cards, and run 3 random speed cards, a power card, and a stamina card. You will hit the requirements easy. The good late cards are a little bit different than the pace ones. El Condor Pasa still is the best stat stick in the game for power, but you obviously don't need any of the medium skills or killer tunes, so it's not as good. You can also run the King Halo card just for Uma Stan and nothing else. If you look here, it is similar power output. The only difference, I think, her training effectiveness is lower, so you get a lot more power, but a lot less of all the other stats. Aishin Flash is your premium gold SR speed card for late surgers as normal. Your medium skills on Brian, SSR, and left-handed is on Suzuka, as well as Zeno Rob speed. It is actually not the worst thing in the world to go and borrow this card. I would probably borrow Nice Nature Wit first because I just think that on your left is stronger, but it does come with a gold recovery. I believe it's the Relax. It's Relax or Lion Weight. It's Lion Weight. Her problem is she does have no specialty priority, so you are going to suffer in speed, but she does have 10 training effectiveness, so you may get some luck with Zeno Rob roaming properly. So if your speed can handle it, you can run this for your 1 gold recovery that you're going to need. Otherwise, probably grab Umastan or grab on your left. So again, the wit cards have all the strongest skills this time. So on your left is going to be the premium option for late surgers. It is just a very good gold skill with some decent output. Otherwise, your SR card that you would probably run for 2 for double wits, or if you have to borrow Kittison, is Agnes Tachyon, just the highest wit output of the SSR card, or the SR card, sorry, with some late skills and some medium skills. Otherwise, Fine Motion still is very good. It still has speed. Speed Star isn't as good, sorry, for late surger. It's a pace skill, so that should be removed. Again, a Yukino Bijin 0 LB is decent if you have absolutely nothing left because it just gives a decent amount of skills, and Measure Arden does have left-handed as per usual. So those are the wit cards you need to go and look for if you have them. Otherwise, just run your strongest wit cards. My opinion, don't run Ticket. As much as I love Ticket, her card is just napalm for your energy as this one, and it looks good, as in it has every single speed and acceleration skill that late surges really need, at least in the white version. But then you look at it, and these three are hints, and the hints you're going to receive in Alharu are just going to be on the explosions anyways. So a lot of these you're just going to get rudimentarily, like randomly. And having LSC is okay, and IBAM is not the best skill in the world. So really, you're just gambling for hints on a card that doesn't have as much power output as pretty much any of the SR cards in the game. So I would just run a regular one, run a Biwa, Hayahide. That's my personal pick, even though she's kind of napalm as well for energy. Or you can run like Mahona Bourbon. You can run, what's her name? Hishi Amazon. Pretty much any of the power cards if you need a power card in your deck. Alright, so we're going to go for Umas. I'm not going to talk about any of these Umas on this list because either they are pretty unspectacular and don't really give anything, or they are better in a powerhouse in the pace position, such as Rudolph Festival and Ogiri Cap, or Teo. So a lot of these ones I'd suggest running pace. You can run them late, and they give the standard stuff that they give to every single run because there's nothing really late specific that they give. Okay, we're going to go backwards from release dates. So right before the release of Scorpio Cup, we're going to have Mejuro Dober. Her ultimate works on herself. Her inherit does not work. So her duration is 4 seconds. So the ult works on herself. She has 10 speed, 20 wit, which is the ideal stats for this one because you're going to want to have you're going to be wanting to wit training a lot. So 10 speed 20 wit is very nice for these medium ones, and she has fall runner. So you're going to have to look for the great recovery, the gold recovery, and slick surge, and she also releases very late, but she is a very strong option if you're able to build her. She's just a little difficult to build with the short time frame. Festival Gold City is, in my opinion, going to be one of the strongest late surges you can build because she is very easy to build and she is very strong. Her ultimate, as people are noting that because of the 1 year anniversary, it is nerfed a little bit. I think that we're going to find it's still very strong just because of its potency. If it procs perfectly, it is a massive amount of lengths gained. And also she has incredible stat bonuses. So 8 speed, 8 power, 14 wit. That's like 22 combined on the speed wit margin, as well as the speed power margin being 16. So remember, speed and wit are going to be your two primary trainings, and she just absolutely is good in both of those for the festival. You basically just run stamina sparks and you're going to be good. She also has one of the few lasers that has a built-in gold recovery, slick surge, raining days, 1.5 mil LSC. She has like all the luxury skills, a built-in gold recovery, amazing stat bonuses, and a good ultimate. I don't know what more you can ask for. If you end up pulling for Festival and you get Festival Gold City, it's one of the good ones. I know she seems like a mile horse, but geez, she is very good this CM. Regular Gold City, more of a mile horse, unfortunately. Just her stat bonuses are weird with Guts bonus, and she does have On Your Left, so if you are able to build her, she will be strong still. She'll be very strong because you won't have to run Nice Nature Wit. But her stat bonuses are a little wonky, so that's really her downside. Measure Orion, as per usual, will be one of the strongest options. She is also one of the hardest options to build because 20 power, 10 wit is not the greatest stat spread, and as well as not having any slicks, as not having a reliable way to get slick surge. The reason why I say a reliable way of slick surge, you have to win the Triple Crown on Measure Orion. Measure Orion's ultimate only happens in 6th place in career. It's going to be difficult for that to proc, which means you have to either buy skills early on her, have really good stats, or get lucky, because it's one of the hardest things to do for some reason is to win the Triple Crown with Measure Orion. Other than that, she does have the strongest Let's Pump Some Iron. It's about double the strength of anyone else because it is her own skill, and it has double the duration almost. She has Medium Straights, Rising Dragon, and Wet Conditions, which are all very good skills. So she is incredibly strong, but she is hard to build. Manhattan Cafe is also pretty new. I guess Measure Orion was one of the original characters, but I just put it in there because it's probably the strongest one that people are going to run. Her 30 stamina bonus is actually incredibly awkward this time because you want to hit speed and you want to hit wit, and you're not going to have any bonuses on any of those trainings. So Manhattan Cafe really wants to hit the stamina button. Basically, that's pretty much it, honestly. She wants to hit the stamina button, and the power button she's good at too. So stamina and power, and it's just the CM. It doesn't seem like you're hitting those buttons very much unless you're running a speed power deck, and it's a little weird. Otherwise, she has an innate gold recovery. It is not the Stamina Eater version. She has the other one, though. That's just the late Surger version. And she does have Slick Surge. So she has almost everything you need. It's just her stats are a little wonky. Kawakami Princess, if you pulled on her, she has a weird stat bonus of 10 power, 20 guts, but she does come with standard distance, rising dragon, no stopping me, a bunch of luxury skills, but again, she doesn't have a gold recovery, she doesn't have slick surge, her stats are weird, she's a little difficult and pretty hard to build, honestly. Agnes Digital is going to be an incredibly strong option. She is medium to build in my opinion because she is missing a gold recovery and she is missing slick surge. If you get those two, she is incredibly strong because she has 88707. So every single good training is going to be good on her in every single race basically until we start guts maxing, and even when guts maxing, she's going to be good in every single training situation. And Uma Stand Gold. That's really what sets apart all the whales from the whale Umas from the base Umas is that you get Uma Stand as your luxury skill. She has Super Stand, so you basically have two Uma Stands. So you're just ahead if you're able to get the stuff she's missing. So Matekane Futikaru and Aishin Flash, they're both kind of Oshi picks. Matekane has Slick Surge and really nothing else. Aishin Flash has medium corners and standard distance. Otherwise, they don't really give much to you, so just run them if you're Oshi. Otherwise, I would just skip. Special Week Summer is good because other than her stat bonuses, which are stamina, power, guts, so she really wants to hit the power button, she really wants to hit the guts button, and she really wants to hit the stamina button. She doesn't really want to hit the whip button, so that's the only problem. If you can get past her stat requirements, which are going to be a little difficult to get, you have an innate gold recovery on her ult. She has Fast and Furious, Tail Held High, it's on, so a bunch of luxury skills, and she does have access to Slick Surge. So you have everything you need if you can get past the stats on Special Week. So she is decent. Vodka is a very easy pick. However, not the strongest because there's nothing absolutely special with her, but she is a free-to-play character, and she is very, very easy to build, like incredibly so. Probably the best stat bonuses in the game because you can just load up on wit cards and stamina sparks because you're not going to want to hit the power button at all because your speed cards are going to give you so much power with their 20% power buff, the power bonus. She also comes with Slick Surge, Nimble Navigator, and she comes with Bofa, which is an innate gold recovery. So you have everything you need on Vodka just to build her. So that's another character where you can just run probably a single medium S hit and you're good. Like, it should be pretty easy and just to run the career. Grass Wonder, she is very easy to build in my opinion, and she I think is also going to be a very strong pick for various reasons. So the healer Grass Wonder is going to be good because despite having much worse stamina bonuses because she has 15 speed, 15 wit rather than 20 speed, 10 power. She has better, my bad. So 15 speed, 15 wit is some of the best stat bonuses because you're going to load up on wit cards and hit both of these. And she also comes with 2 innate gold recoveries, which means you don't even really need to care about stamina, to be honest, if you have high wit, because you can just hit her gold recovery that she has, and then she has her ultimate as well. You have those two, and you can get down to, like, if you look at the table, I'm going to scroll all the way up, actually. So let's look at the table here. If you have 2 gold recoveries, your required stamina is down from 666 to 510. So you're looking at like 600 to 650 stamina is all you need. You can get that without even sparks, honestly, and it's just Rico. Okay. So that being said, you just need Slick Surge on her. And with that, like, if your stats are hit, so you have a lot of, you essentially just have a lot of room to just go and search for all these luxury skills. Regular Grass Wonder is good for a different reason that we're going to talk about later, and the reason is she has Dominator on it, and as well as on your left. 20 speed, 10 power is very good, as well as Position Pilfer luxury skill, and on your left. But the big reason is Dominator. So these 3 Umas, Agnes Tachyon, Symboli Rudolph regular, and Grass Wonder original, all three of these have Dominator, and there is a strategy to run all three of these in the late Surger position and just have them all Dominator, because it's a triple gold speed debuff that gives all your Umas essentially about 3 lengths worth of time. That is an option to run. You can also run a couple of these Pace Chasers and a couple of these Late Surgers. There's various options. The Late Surger does pretty much guarantee they will be in the back of the pack as well. So that's the only reason why Late Surger may be a little better than Pace Chaser. If I were running this, I would probably run these 2 Late Surger and run Rudolph in the Pace Chaser position and hope she's at the back of the pack. Most likely she will be, and then move from there. El Condor Pasa Fantasy. I did not suggest El Condor Pasa regular because, again, she has the Pace Chaser Gold Recovery, so it's going to be better in Pace Chaser, as well as Killer Tunes. She does have 15 speed, 15 guts, which is a little awkward, but the 15 speed's decent. She just has every single luxury skill in the game. She has a white recovery, which helps a little bit. You don't necessarily need to go for the gold recovery if you have enough stamina. 1.5 mil Rising Dragon, and a very strong ultimate that has good acceleration on it. Is pretty good. She just needs Slick Surge, as a lot of these Umas do. Air Groove she has 10 speed, 20 power, which is very good stat lines, but she really doesn't give anything else. There's the option of running her debuffer, but other than that, it's just kind of, she has good stats, so run her if you like her. Winning Ticket, one of my picks I will be running, mostly Oshi reasons, I guess, because I think she's just incredibly easy to build in Late Searcher because she comes with everything except a gold recovery. So 20% stamina, 10% power, or 20% stamina, 10% power. Means you kind of want to run a power build. It's okay. You can get some wacky ticket builds with like 1200, 800, 1200, and like 800 wit. I've seen 1 or 2 of those, namely as just funny memes on the internet, but other than that, because she has everything in her events, you don't need to look for anything. You don't even need to run like nice nature wit if you don't want to. As a conclusion, that's pretty much every single character. Lates win by stacking as many accelerations as possible, and you just pray. So if it says it has acceleration in it, just check the Uma race sim. Most likely it works in the CM as long as it works for the mediums because it's the corner ending. You stack as many of those as possible. You stack your Nimble Navigator, you stack your Slick Surge, you stack your Let's Pump Some Iron, your Doto Alt, your Shooting for Victory, your El Condor Pasa Fantasy, and you just hope that as many proc as early as possible. If you hit like 3 or 4 of them, you're going to win the race. If you're angling and scheming and the Pace Chaser or the front runners mess up, you're going to win the race. So you have some options for Late Surgers. They're pretty easy to build. That's their advantage. And you probably need to build one if you're not building a front, to be honest. So this has been the Late Surger Guide. It's been a little bit more unhinged, but whatever. Burb out.